CQ calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 4th of May and here is the GB2RS news broadcast, prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org, along with links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's news headlines. Our Tonight at 8 series continues with HamSci. Learn about radar through an RSGB convention presentation, plus new members benefit, and news about renewals of RSGB Club, Beacon and Repeater insurance. We'll have more on those items in a moment, but first, on Monday the 12th of May, Dr. Nathaniel Frizzell, Whiskey 2 November Alpha Foxtrot, and RSGB Propagation Studies Committee member Gwyn Griffiths, Golf 3 Zulu India Lima, will deliver a Tonight at 8 webinar on ham radio, science, citizen investigation, and that's to do with space weather we can do together. Since the 2017 Solar Eclipse QSO party, HamSci has brought together amateur radio operators and professional space scientists. They've developed new and innovative ways to study space weather and its impacts on the ionosphere and radio propagation. In the presentation, Nathaniel will show results from the 2023 and 2024 HamSci festivals of Eclipse Ionospheric Science. Gwyn will explain why he enjoys the HamSci experience, from exchanges with scientists to learning from students while pursuing his own studies on HF propagation. And they'll also talk about what's next for the organisation and how you can participate. So to find out more, go to rsgb.org/webinars. In the latest RSGB 2024 convention video released by the Society, Graham Murchie, Golf 4 Foxtrot Sierra Golf, presents Radar, the Eyes of the Few. In the talk, Graham gives a brief history of early radar and events leading up to the development of a viable system and the world's first operational radar station at Vecteezy. To watch the video, go to youtube.com/ then the symbol at the RSGB, and at the RSGB, that's all one word. And to learn more about Vecteezy Radar Museum, you can go to rsgb.org/partner-museums, and there's also a new 20% discount there for RSGB members. Now, if you run a club or repeater, you'll be interested to know that we've renewed RSGB Club, Beacon and Repeater insurance for the year to April 2026. If you log into the RSGB website, you can download club insurance certificates from rsgb.org/repeater insurance. You can order Beacon and Repeater insurance certificates for £15 from the RSGB shop, and please allow a couple of days after renewal for your certificate to be dispatched. The RSGB Contest Club recently exceeded 1 million contacts made by RSGB members activating historic RSGB call signs and special event call signs, either in contests or in radio marathon activations. The contacts have all been uploaded to Logbook of the World. The most prolific call sign has been Golf 6 X-Ray X-Ray with over 154,000 contacts. And the most recent has been Golf Bravo 0 India Alpha Romeo Uniform, which was active in April to celebrate the centenary of the International Amateur Radio Union. You can find out more about the RSGB Contest Club, including how to join, on the RSGB website. Once you're there, select Contest Club from the On Air menu. Now, celebrations for the 70th anniversary of GB2RS are well underway. To find out how you can get involved with special event stations and awards, go to rsgb.org/Golf Bravo 70 Romeo Sierra. We've recently updated the web page to add a selection of newsreader stories, which you can access by clicking the tab GB2RS Newsreader Stories from the menu on the right-hand side. So if you've ever wanted to learn more about the voice behind your weekly GB2RS broadcast, this is your chance, and more stories will be added throughout the year. On Saturday the 10th of May, RSGB volunteers will attend a regional girl guiding event at Ardingly in West Sussex. Among other activities, girl guiding members will operate special event call sign Golf Bravo 25 Mike Alpha Yankee via the QO100 satellite. And the volunteers would welcome contacts via QO100 between 10:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. on the day. So put the date in your diary and make time to encourage these youngsters as they try amateur radio. The German Amateur Radio Society, DARC, is again hosting the traditional ham camp for youngsters, and that's during the Ham Radio Fair in Friedrichshafen from the 26th to the 29th of June. It's open to participants under 27 years of age and includes 3 nights at Ham Camp, 3 breakfast vouchers and a 3-day ticket for the Ham Radio Fair. The package price is €80 and the deadline for registration is the 8th of June. And you can find more information at tinyurl.com/hamcamp25. That's Hotel Alpha Mike, Charlie Alpha Mike Papa 25. Now just a reminder to you to please send details of all your news and events to radcom@rsgb.org.uk. The deadline for submissions is 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts each week. Well, now we move across to details of rallies and events. The Dartmoor Radio Rally is tomorrow, Monday the 5th of May, and that's being held at the Yelverton War Memorial Hall on Meavy Lane in Yelverton, Devon, and the postcode for your sat-nav is Papa Lima 206 Alpha Lima, and there's free car parking. There'll also be the usual bring and buy as well as trader stands and refreshments. Doors open at 10 a.m. and admission is £3. And if you want further details, call Roger on 07854 088 882, or you can email him on 2ECHO0 Romeo Papa Hotel @gmail.com. Now, the popular Mills on the Air event is on the weekend of the 10th and 11th of May, and there are 35 stations taking part so far, and registration is still open if you want to add your station to the list. To find out more, go to tinyurl.com/Mills on the Air. That's all one word, Mills on the Air, or you can visit the Mills on the Air Facebook page. And now we have the special event news. The Ramsbury Amateur Radio DX group will be active on the 3rd, 4th and 8th of May with special call sign Golf Bravo 1 Victor Echo, and that's to celebrate VE Day. The group will operate on 20 metres and 40 metres using Morse code, SSB and digital modes. The Vintage and Military Amateur Radio Society will commemorate VE Day on Thursday the 8th of May. Members will control a number of nets on various frequencies between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. They'll use vintage military equipment from the World War I era and beyond. And you can find the full programme of events at vmars.org/news. And VMARS is Victor Mike Alpha Romeo Sierra. The Worthing Radio Events Group plan to operate Golf Bravo 8 Oscar Foxtrot Papa for the anniversary of VE Day on the 8th of May. They will be operating on the seafront at the Ferring Pillbox. That's on Patterson's Walk in West Sussex. Members will be active between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on the 40 metre and 20 metre bands using SSB. The East Midlands Electronics and Radio Group will be on the air between the 8th and 11th of May to celebrate the 80th anniversary of VE Day. They'll be using the call sign Golf Bravo 1 Bravo Kilo, and they'll operate from former RAF Binbrook in Lincolnshire. They expect to operate on at least 40, 20 and 2 metres using SSB and possibly some FT8 and SSTV. The Guernsey Amateur Radio Society will operate special event station Golf Uniform 80 Lima India Bravo, that's Golf Uniform 80 LIB, between the 9th and the 11th of May to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Guernsey, and that's at the end of World War II. For more information, you can go to qrz.com and enter the call sign Golf Uniform 80 Lima India Bravo. Finally, special event station Golf Bravo 0 Sierra Alpha Romeo will operate from the 3rd to the 30th of May in support of SOS Radio Week. The station will mostly use FT4 on the 20 metre band, but you might also catch it on other HF bands using SSB. For more information, visit qrz.com and enter the call sign Golf Bravo 0 Sierra Alpha Romeo. And now we have the DX news. A team is active as Tango X-Ray 9 Alpha from Tubuai in the Austral Islands. That's IOTA reference Oscar Charlie 152. And they'll be active until Wednesday the 7th of May. They'll operate on the HF bands and you can QSL via Delta Kilo 8 Zulu Zulu. For all direct requests, use Clublog OQRS, and you can find more information at the event's website, which is austral2025.com. And I'll spell that for you. That's Alpha Uniform Sierra Tango Romeo Alpha Lima 2025.com. Next we have news of Eurus Yankee Lima 2 Golf Mike, who is active as Zulu Sierra 8 Whiskey. He's operating from Prince Edward and Marion Island, which is IOTA reference Alpha Foxtrot 021, and he'll be operating until Friday the 16th of May. He's on Marion Island as a radio engineer and member of the SANAP Station Communication Equipment Maintenance Team, and he hopes to find plenty of time to operate. And now we have the contest news. The ARI International DX contest started yesterday, the 3rd of May, and ends at 15:99 UTC today, Sunday the 4th of May. Using Morse code, RTTY and SSB on the 80 to 10 metre bands where contests are allowed, the exchange is signal report and serial number, and Italian stations will also send their province. The 432 MHz to 245 GHz contest also started yesterday, the 3rd of May, and ends at 1400 UTC today, Sunday the 4th of May. Using all modes on the 432 MHz to 245 GHz bands, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. The 10 GHz trophy contest runs today, Sunday the 4th, from 0800 to 1400 UTC. Using all modes on the 10 GHz band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. The May 144 MHz contest also runs today. That's from 0800 to 1400 UTC. Using all modes on the 2 metre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. And also today it's the 144 MHz Backpackers contest running from 1100 to 1500 UTC. Using all modes on 2 metres, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator, and UK stations will also send their postcode. Also today, it's the UK Microwave Group's Low Band contest, which runs from 0800 to 1400 UTC. Using all modes on the 1.3 to 3.4 GHz bands, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. The Work Tour Britain's 7 MHz phone contest runs today, Sunday the 4th of May, from 1000 to 1400 UTC. Using SSB on the 40 metre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and your Work Tour Britain square. Then on Tuesday, the 6th of May, it's the 144 MHz FM activity contest, and that runs from 1800 to 1855 UTC. That uses FM on the 2 meter band, and the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also on Tuesday the 6th, it's the 144 MHz UK activity contest, running from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 2 meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Wednesday the 7th of May, it's the 144 MHz FT8 activity 4-hour contest, running from 1700 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on 2 meters, the exchange is report and 4-character locator. And also running on Wednesday the 7th of May, it's the 144 MHz FT8 activity 2-hour contest, and that runs from 1900 to 2100 UTC. Also using FT8 on the 2 meter band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator, and if you enter the 4-hour contest, then you can also enter the 2-hour contest. And finally, on Thursday the 8th of May, it's the 50 MHz UK activity contest, running from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 6 meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. And now we have the HF radio propagation report. This was compiled by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 1st of May. After the geomagnetic disturbances a fortnight ago, the last 7 days have been relatively quiet. The KP index has mostly been around 1 to 2, but it rose to 4 on Thursday the 1st of May, and that could herald a return to unsettled conditions. The solar flux index peaked at 170 on the 24th of April before falling to 148 at the end of the month. HF conditions have been acceptable rather than outstanding, and many stations have struggled to work DX during International Marconi Day, which was on the 26th of April. Nevertheless, there is DX about, including Zulu Sierra 8 Whiskey on Marion Island, Tango X-Ray 9 Alpha in the Austral Islands, and Hotel Delta 8 Golf on the Galapagos Islands. A look at the PROPI propagation prediction tool will help you work out the best times to make contact with each station and on which band. You can find it at rsgb.org/propagation-tools. Now looking ahead, a large sunspot has rotated into view. Now designated sunspot 4079, this region has returned and was previously identified as sunspot region 4055. It's already emitted an M-class solar flare, and we may expect more activity as it becomes more Earth-facing over the next week. NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will climb in the coming week to between 160 and 165. Geomagnetic disturbances are also due to rise, with the KP index forecast to reach 5 on the 5th and 6th of May, in which case you can expect lower maximum usable frequencies and poorer HF paths, especially over the poles as the KP index rises. And finally, this week traditionally marks the start of the sporadic E season, so do keep an eye on 10 metres and 12 metres for short and medium range openings to Europe. Well, that's all for the HF propagation news. We now have the VHF and up propagation news, and this was compiled by G3YLA and G4BAO. The current spell of high-pressure tropo weather weakened a little at the end of last week, and we'll see the return of unsettled conditions with showery rain and perhaps thunderstorms. This is unlikely to lead to a total removal of high pressure, and tropo will still be worth looking for, especially over the western side of the UK. Some models place a new high just west of Britain during the coming week. This means that rain prospects are not great, although probably enough for a hint of rain scatter in isolated heavy showers. The HF bands sounded a bit watery at times last week, which is a classic sign of potential aurora to explore on the higher bands. So look out for aurora in the coming week if the KP index climbs above 5. Meteor scatter is worth thinking about, and after last week's Lyrids, we now have the Eta Aquarids shower, which peaks in the early hours of the 6th of May. Sporadic E ionization is largely composed of long-lived meteor ions, so watch for sporadic E openings. From now to mid-September, sporadic E will dominate the lower VHF bands, so check the clusters for signs of activity. And remember that sporadic E starts on 10 meters and moves higher in frequency as an opening develops, even reaching 2 meters in the peak of summer. Unlike tropo, sporadic E events are often fleeting, so the best you can do is monitor conditions as sporadic E intensifies and be ready when it reaches the band you want. Check the daily sporadic E blogs on www.propquest.co.uk, which discusses the links between location of jet streams and sporadic E formations. For moon bounce or EME operators, EME path losses are increasing, but apogee is still a week away. Moon declination passed maximum last Thursday, so moon windows are shortening along with reducing peak elevation, and 144 MHz sky noise is low all week. And that's all for the propagation team this week. Well, that's all for this week's GB2RS News broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. The news was compiled for you by the Radio Society of Great Britain, who represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, then please email it to us as far in advance as possible, and we'll be pleased to include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS News broadcasts, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Send your news to the editorial team. Their email address is radcom@rsgb.org.uk. And if your news items are time sensitive, then it's really important that you send them to us by 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the news broadcasts. We retain copyright over all material transmitted, and you can find information about amateur radio on our website, rsgb.org. And you can also download our full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. We wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS News team. We hope you have a lovely Sunday and a lovely bank holiday weekend as well, and a great week ahead. This is Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire, now listening for any calls or reports under my own call sign, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta listening.